Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Today we're going to be continuing on with some balancing work that I'm doing. I almost have it dialed in where it's feeling very good. So just going to be playing with that a little bit more this morning and probably doing some playtesting, and then if that goes well, then we can maybe do some new cards or something, some new reagents or some new enemy cards. I still want to do, I think, 7 more enemy cards for the playtest, and then obviously I want to do some more reagents as well. I don't think the reagent system is quite done, either, because I want to add some negative effects to the alchemy system, so we're going to see. We're going to see what happens, but anyway, before I get into all of that, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. It's linked in the description below. So it's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler. If that interests you, definitely give it a wishlist. That would help. You could also support the project on Patreon. The top tier, the sponsor tier here, has a couple of nice perks, one of which is that you will get a Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches. So this is kind of like a pre-purchase. You can view it like that. All you need to do is subscribe to this for just 1 month. Of course, I hope that you'll consider subscribing for more, but you subscribe for 1 month, you will get an Alchemortis Steam key, and you will be listed in the Alchemortis in-game credits. So those are pretty cool perks. And then I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. They will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. So if you like my teaching style, check those out. If you want to be, if you are interested in learning Godot, check it out. You can also join the Discord server. That is linked below. That's free. And you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. All right. What am I doing? So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of trying to balance the game here. I'm coming up with a different algorithm for balancing to hopefully make the game a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more smooth in terms of the difficulty increase. And so I made a bunch of changes from yesterday's stream to this algorithm here, but I can go over that in a second. Let's first say hello to everyone. Hello, Clicker Tail. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Neozoid. Saturday Dev, maybe Sunday too. No, I will not be streaming tomorrow, but we will have a nice stream today, this morning. Welcome back. Mio Leo Dev, welcome, welcome. Chris, welcome. Good morning to you. I may really need your wisdom on this code. Well, we will absolutely need to implement wave function collapse. I've done some research, but you might be able to give me some pointers. I would like to have irregular shaped rooms, and how that is executed is beyond my understanding right now. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I'm an expert in that, but you can definitely put whatever questions you have in the Discord, and I could try to respond if I have something useful to say. Irregular shaped rooms, yeah, that might be. So if they're not aligned to a grid, that might be. Yeah, that might be tricky, huh? Interesting. Yeah, if you want to put any questions in the Discord, I could take a look. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mio Leo? Hello, High Law. Welcome back. Eno Makes Games. Good to see you again. Welcome, welcome. I would need to first understand the core algorithm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's relatively based on, maybe I'm doing the algorithm wrong, but based on what I did, the research that I did and conversations I had with my AI tutor, it is presented in a way that's a lot more complex than it actually is. You know what I mean? So I could definitely try to give you like a very distilled breakdown. I think that, yeah, I just think it's presented in confusing ways compared to how it's actually implemented. So yeah, maybe I can present it in a different way. I actually wanted to do like a wave function collapse in 60 seconds video, like a short, but I haven't got around to that yet. Any changes, breakthroughs since yesterday? Yeah, so I changed a bunch of stuff. So the main thing is I changed so basically the way that the algorithm works is that as you go north in the tree, as you go north in the map rather, it'll actually be easier to talk about this with the game actually up. So as you go north in the map, the combat difficulty needs to increase, generally speaking, right? But the combat difficulty needs to increase in a way that kind of accounts for the power that the player has accumulated. So this is not helpful. Because I don't want, for instance, because of RNG, the player doesn't have a whole lot of upgrade opportunities, and then they hit a long string of combats where it's just like they can't beat it because they weren't given upgrade opportunities. So what happens is, for every combat node on the map, what I do is I run a search through the tree that finds the optimal path to the combat node. And the way that the optimal path is determined is based on the scores of non-combat nodes. Actually, combat nodes also have a score because they reward some blood. But basically, I have a bunch of scores listed here based on each event type. And so like a grow board event is a score of 80. And these are just like random numbers. They're just weights basically. An artifact is a score of 60. So basically what I'm saying here is that a grow board is the most powerful thing you can get because it increases your board size, right? Whereas an artifact is slightly less powerful than that, but still powerful. A booster is kind of like mid-range powerful because you get a bunch of cards, right? The upgrade card is a little bit less powerful. And then, you know, shop, enchant, these things are reduced a little bit because they do increase your power, but not by a lot, especially the enchant. I may need to change the shop weight a little bit, but the shop is highly dependent on whether you have money available to spend. So it's possible you could visit a shop and become very powerful, or you could visit a shop and get nothing, right? So anyway, so each node type is assigned a score. And so when I'm looking at a combat node, here, and I'm trying to figure out what the difficulty of the combat node should be. What I do is I find the optimal path from the start node to that node. So the optimal path in this case, and that's based on the number of traversals, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 traversals. 1, 2, 3, 4 traversals. So there's 2 paths with 4 jumps that can get to this combat node. And this is the more optimal path because it increases your power more than going this path, right? And so it takes that score, the optimal path score, and I don't know, what does it do? Yeah, it literally just sums that up. Now, it does multiply by a bias here, but that bias is just set to 1 right now. So I'm not really using that bias. It's just, but anyway, it's just summing up that score and then assigning that score to the combat node. And then what the combat node will do is it will fit a board to that score. So based on the score, in this case, this combat board has a score of 250. Based on the score, it will generate the health for the combat node, it will generate the blood reward for that combat node, and it also generates the size of the board for the combat node. So you can see it's 2 by 3 here. And then it also determines which cards get placed and how they are upgraded. So for instance, if I go up here, this is a score of 420 compared to, nice. This is score of 420 compared to 250. And you'll notice that not only does this have a larger board and more cards and more health, but it has also upgraded one of the cards. And those all have scores as well. So basically what I'm saying is that each filled cell on the board is worth 50 points. So if I've got a score of 420, then what will happen is, what is that? 8 cells on the board will be filled. And then if there's any score left over, it will upgrade the card and add an additional cell score per tier. So a card of tier 2, instead of being scored at 50 per cell that it occupies, will be scored at 70 per cell that it occupies. Now, all these numbers are here just so I can play with them, right? But the point is that everything's based on numbers now. So I can tweak the perceived difficulty of the game by reducing or increasing certain numbers. And then because there's a bias in here, I can simply make the game harder by increasing the bias, right? So if I want to, what I'm planning on doing is just making the normal standard introductory difficulty a bias of 1, and then every difficulty afterwards, so if I want to offer like New Game Plus or whatever, the bias will go up. And so if I change the bias to 1.5, like I just did, all of the encounters, all the combats are going to be a lot harder, including the boss. So we can already see that that's going up. Now I may need to change this bias because it's just a linear thing, but we're still going to have the problem of like it takes a while for the player to get ramped up. So that bias may not end up being a linear function. It may end up being a function that just scales harder into the end game. But we can see up here that the top score for like a combat up here is 2000, whereas if the bias is 1, if the bias is 1, then the top score up here is like 1400, 1600. So this may actually be still too much. But that's why I'm tweaking the numbers here. So yeah, that's the idea. I think it's working out. It certainly gives me a lot more control over the perceived difficulty. I think now it's just a matter of dialing in the numbers and the various like operations that are using the score. I just realized that I don't have time to make long-form devlogs for my game. I also don't have any plans to make money from YouTube. Just want to promote my game. Do you think short-form devlogs are better for me? Yeah, I would say that anything that you can do is going to be helpful. Like, if you don't have time to make 10-minute long devlogs, but you do have time to make like 60-second shorts or even like 3-minute devlogs, I would say that's better than nothing, you know? So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to do that. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Saturday to you as well. I understand this much. It works based on lowest entropy. The way I understand it, that would be find a point on the map with the least options that it can be, and then continue growing from there. Yeah, so the way that, I could try to give like a very, very quick overview, and I can explain this more in Discord, but yeah. Wave function collapse is essentially, imagine you have a grid. Every grid cell has some possibilities. So in your case, it would be rooms that you can place, right? So there's an indefinite number of possibilities, or not an indefinite, but there's a certain set of possibilities for each cell. And you may have rules too, like you may have rules that the corner of the grid cannot have, you know, certain rooms or whatever. But the way I'm doing my wave function collapse is every cell can potentially contain any enemy card, right? And then what I do is just randomly choose a cell to place a card at, and I place that card. And then when that card is placed, based on that card's synergies, so if that card affects other healing cards or other damaging cards or whatever, I can collapse the probabilities of any of the related cells. So let's say that I have a card that buffs based on adjacent healing. So what I would do is take all the adjacent cells to that card and remove all of the options that do not have healing, right? So I'm basically collapsing that probability. I'm taking a whole list of like 40 different cards and I'm narrowing it down to a list of like 5 or 6, right? And then when I go through the next loop of the wave function collapse, you choose the lowest entropy tile. And it's likely then that the lowest entropy tile is going to be one of those tiles that I just reduced the probability of, right? And so then I pick a random card from that, I place that, and then I do the same thing, right? If that card has synergies, then I collapse, you know, the probabilities of adjacent cells down even further. And you basically just repeat that process until your entire grid is filled up. And you can add your own rules into that, because that's a very sterile way of doing it, right? But you can add randomization and probability into it, right? So you could say, you know, instead of all adjacent cells having their probabilities collapsed, I'm just going to choose 3 adjacent cells instead. So if I've got a card that's got 6 adjacent cells, I don't necessarily want to collapse the probability of all of those. So I could just choose 3 of the random adjacent cells and collapse those probabilities and leave the other ones untouched, right? So that's basically it. And you just keep repeating that pattern. You just keep choosing the lowest entropy tile or grid cell, pick a random result from the available results. Then you modify any cells that should affect, that placement should affect. You reduce the options to only compatible options. And then on the next loop, you just find the cell that has the least amount of options and do it again, right? And you just do that in a loop until everything's placed. And there's a lot of leeway to it. That's the core idea. It's just basically like place a cell, collapse the probabilities of cell that it affects, then choose the lowest cell, then do it again and again and again. That's really as simple as it is. And then you can add your own rules in there for the probabilities, and you can even introduce like a weighted table. So if you want certain things to be more common than others, so it's not an equal chance to choose all of the options, you can use like a weighted loot table for that instead. Anyway, I hope that very quick breakdown helps a little bit, but the idea of a bigger but blocked board is now kept for a rainy day, or do you still plan on implementing it? Yeah, I'm still thinking about how I can increase the size of the player board in a different way. What's my favorite egg dish? I don't know. That's a good question. Does higher bias have higher rewards? I have not considered that yet. I'm not at the stage where I'm like actually trying to create new difficulties. I'm just trying to create a mechanism where I can control the difficulty, but in terms of how that translates to rewards, I don't know yet. Genetically enhanced chicken, welcome. Statistics was the real final boss all along, yeah. I made a short where I showed controller support and had like 1,300 views and 17 likes, which is better than long form. Also, it's like 3 times more enjoyable and faster to make. Yeah, that's good. I would say, yeah, just keep doing that. I'll try coding something, then ask more questions. Sounds good. When you mentioned yesterday about single pipeline, do you mean you try your best to make the code serial rather than parallel? Well, I think generally speaking, like your game logic is going to be serial unless you are explicitly doing some parallelization. No, what I mean is that like if I want, for example, if I want to damage a board, right? There's 2 ways to do it, right? I could go through like a unified, API for damaging the board, a single point of entry where everything in the game has to provide certain context, like what was the damage provider, what was the damage type, so on and so forth. And there's another way to do it, which is that I just go directly to like the board health component and I damage the board health, right? So what I mean by passing everything through a single pipeline is that I have like a single point of entry in my game for how a board can accept damage. And everything that does damage to a board, whether it's an artifact or whether it's a card or whether it's a status effect, everything needs to go through that single entry point. And then because everything's using that same API, the board damage is handled in the same way regardless of like where the damage is coming from. And the reason that that's important is because that system feeds into like the combat log, and it feeds into the turn history where it logs all the damage that was done to the board. And so I guess my point is that you want to have like a unified API for doing the operations in your game, especially if you're going to be like, for example, damaging the board from multiple different contexts, right? So it's not just a card that can damage a board, it's an artifact could damage a board as well. You want to have a single API where all board damage is done, through which all board damage is done, because then you have control over it. There's no unpredictability. You don't have to come up with these weird edge cases or duplicate code or anything like that. So I think that's mostly what I mean. Like, you almost want to design your game as if you're building APIs for yourself, because you don't want to get in a situation where you're doing the same thing, like dealing board damage, but you're doing it in 3 different ways in 3 different places, right? Because that's when you get bugs. That's when you have to come up with weird ways of handling, like how you log the damage for the combat log and all that stuff. That's basically what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's probably a double quarter pounder with an egg on top, if only. Half pounder with egg all over. All right, so I actually don't know what the state of the balance of this game is, so I'm gonna give it a play test and see how it feels. And let's see. Turn this down. Let's just give it a play test and see what it feels like. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I mean, Podell. And inventory is a great example of this too. Like, you just want to have a single unified like inventory API that everything in the game interacts with, you know? You don't want to be like handling the inventory management code in 3 different places, like when you want to insert something into the inventory. Okay, let's do this. Let's give it this quick test and see how it feels. I was testing this last night and it was feeling pretty good, but grab that. Alchemical reagents tier 2. That's good. Cat, horse dung, or I can go that way. That is more difficult, so I'm gonna go this way. That was easy. I'm actually gonna sell this. Put this in the alchemy board. Get that upgrade. I might dip down and grab that upgrade, actually. Grab this one. Okay, we'll go here. Grab this artifact. So because I'm going through a lot of powerful cards right now, I think the combats are going to get more difficult more quickly. I'm going to grab the Noble Pedigree. Grab this. I do need a board size increase though. Iron Maiden, nice. There's a shop there. Oh no, did I go the wrong way? I actually don't have that much money anyway, so well, I do have the Noble Pedigree though. All right, let's go this way. Grab this. Oh yeah, let's do the board size increase. Thank you. Put that there. Perfect. Okay, now we grab these reagents. I still think I need to make some changes to the map generation so I don't have such long strings of just pure upgrades. Like, I haven't fought a combat in any of these nodes here. But I am approaching the boss, so we're going to see how that goes. I think I will skip the alchemical reagents. I don't need any more of those. I will grab that, though. Goodbye, cat. Okay. Increase board size. Yeah, let's do that. Can probably hit that extra shop too. All right, what do we got going on here? Let's put the key in there. Actually, maybe I will alchemize. Ceremonial dagger, key, lead ingot. Nice. That's exactly what I wanted. Awesome. So this is a pretty difficult combat here. 109 health. Yeah, so see, like, the combats feel a lot more balanced now. Previously, if I had done this combo, I would have just been steamrolling everything, but it's actually relatively even. And again, this is designed, like, this initial difficulty is designed to be like the normal difficulty. The standard, like, you know, this should be beatable if you play the game a couple times. What do I want? I'll just purchase that, I guess. I do have some room for alchemy here. Let's do... I don't want that. Dowsing rod. I guess we'll do another ceremonial dagger, and I'll put some gold in there as well. 2 bleed per enemy minion card. Apply 3 poison, but that's got a 50% crit chance. Although this is a poison one. Oh, interesting. Does this apply poison? Yeah. Let's do that. Sweet. Okay. This will put me into the boss, so we'll see how that goes. So if something happens, we know which entity to blame. Right, yeah. That's the other nice thing about creating, like, if you think about your game as like you're making APIs for a bunch of different systems. So you're making an API for the inventory system, you're making an API for the artifact system, you're making an API for the card system or whatever. If you just treat it as a bunch of different APIs that you're making, then your code becomes like very easy to manage in terms of bugs, because like if you're using the same API no matter where you're at in the code and then it fails, it's like, well, it's probably going to fail when you call it from other places too. It's going to be, the failure is going to be isolated to that API that you're using, right? And then it just helps you like keep the separation of concerns. It helps you keep you know, every system designed and isolated to itself, and it's a nice way of de-spaghettifying your code, or avoiding the spaghettification of your code. All right, boss time. That is not a very challenging boss. So, still some problems here, but we'll figure it out. I'm just going to keep going. Paralyze adjacent cards for 4 turns and heal for 5 per paralyzed card. I think I might actually use that. Actually, let's just go ahead and throw some fire onto it. That'll work. Grab this. Dang, what am I gonna do? Goodbye, Iron Maiden, sorry. Go here. All right, let's take a look. Probably swing through the upgrade here. Actually, I do need more health. I might just try to do those combats, get some money. Oh yeah. So the combats feel a lot more balanced, because here's the thing, I know how to play this game. So because I created this legendary Mausoleum key early, that's helping me a lot. But I could imagine a new player to the game, they're figuring out how the game works. They're probably not going to make it this far in their first run. But because I know how to play the game, I can reliably win these combat encounters. And so now it's just a matter of, like, for players who get familiar with the game and who can regularly beat this difficulty, it's just a matter of oh, I might do that. It's just a matter of, yeah, increasing the difficulty for the players that want an increased challenge. There's a shop that way. Let's do that. I want to test something. Hopefully this has a reagent I can get. Nope, it does not. But it does have a board size increase. Let's do that. Okay. Oops. This is a minion, right? Yeah. So I put this here and I put that there, and I can put this here. Ooh. That'll work. Do I want to buy anything else here? I think I need to nerf the chalice. I think. This difficulty is feeling a lot better though. We'll see if I can snowball, but do I want to spend any more money? I don't think so. I'm just gonna exit. Think of your code base as building an API for a server. You contact the same server for all actions and it's stored there physically. Right, yeah, exactly. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be, for example, like if you have an inventory system, you don't want to be manipulating the internal state of the inventory system from a separate class, right? You don't want to be like changing the arrays and the data storage directly. The way that you want to do it is you want to have an API layer, like a bunch of public functions that you expose. And those are the only ways that you can interact with the underlying data of the inventory system. Because if you do it that way, then you can handle all the edge cases. You can handle all the, you know, what happens if you try to place an item where it's not supposed to be, or what happens if you displace an item, or what happens if you delete an item, and then you have the ability to manage your signals too. So like if I add an item to the inventory, if I'm doing that through a public function, then I can just pass the data that the function requires. The function can do all the validation and make sure that that's a valid move and whatnot, and throw an error maybe if it's not. And then if it succeeds, then I can also emit a signal within that function that may notify my UI or something that my inventory has changed and the display needs to be updated, right? So if you do all that through like a public API that you've built with a series of functions that are exposed, then you don't have to worry about managing all of that conditionality and state in all of the other places where you want to interact with the inventory. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Let's see. Put another mausoleum key there. Oh, we can put this little guy here. Nice. Now I'm stomping here. I got a lot of board size increases though, that's the thing. Tier 4 upgrade. Thank you, Snupbill, for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Always appreciate it, and welcome back to the stream with the message. Yummers, High Law did not block it this time. I've never seen that mask card before. What does it do? I think it has a 50% chance to, well, it applies, yeah, it's a 50% chance to apply poison, or if it doesn't apply poison, it will heal. Okay, now I'm stomping here, so that's good. Maybe I'll just fight the boss early. Hello, Artem. Welcome, welcome. Liu, welcome. Good to see you. Yummers, yes. Okay, here's the boss fight. Oh, I might lose this one. Oh, I didn't. Okay. So really the only thing is the first boss is the one that's not difficult enough. How am I generating the boss configurations? Generate boss combat configuration. I'm getting the highest target score for combat node. Additional boss score times I+1. I think my additional boss score needs to be higher. I'm gonna have to think about that. The first boss was the easiest one. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, I'm pretty well stomping here, so that's good. Oh, that did a lot of damage. It's okay though. I had 261 shield, nice. Okay, that's another upgrade. I might as well just keep doing this. So a lot of this balance too, like the other problem with the balance is that it may be the case that I just have some cards that are too powerful. So it's not just a matter of like how powerful the enemy board is in terms of its health and the number of cards on the board. It's also like, what is the individual power of each card? I have some money. Let's just do some alchemization here. Oh, I actually don't have a lot of opportunities actually to upgrade this guy. Let's just throw some fire on him. Oh, that's not correct. Got a legendary output though. I might do it again. We'll do it live. I lost the legendary ability. What the heck? No, I just bricked it. Alright, well. I bricked my cultist. That's alright. It happens. Yeah, but I'm liking how this is feeling, because again, like, I know how to play the game. So I'm wondering, it's hard to judge, like, a player that's new to the game. They're probably not going to do as well given the same seed and the same set of difficulties. I would imagine a new player would have to play the game a couple of times because these combats are more difficult. It's just I know what I'm doing, so I'm stomping everything. Oh, and I'm still almost losing. Especially before my shielding gets ramped up there. Any reward for killing the boss early? There's a kind of reward. So when you kill a boss... Hold on 1 second. Let's upgrade this one. When you kill a boss, you get 3 free moves. So there's the notoriety bar up here that fills up as you move, right? So when you kill a boss, you get 3 free moves. So if you go and fight a boss early, you can basically just get 3 free moves into the next region without incurring a penalty, and all of the nodes in that region are generally going to be more powerful than the previous region. So you essentially get 3 powerful upgrades for free if you fight the boss early. I may add more rewards too, but yeah, that's the main reward. Applies 8 fire per card that applies fire. Can I do this? I don't think this is useful. There we go. That's going to be good. Although I can probably reorient some things. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Meep. Good morning, Emerson. Welcome to you both. Whoever made that cauldron essentially made a casino, yeah. We can help with the Halloween playtest. Yes, you will. That is a massive board, yeah. Another artifact here. How many alchemical cards do I have? I think that's an alchemical card. That is not an alchemical card. That is an alchemical card. The Wyvern is an alchemical. I don't have that many alchemical cards, but maybe I'll just take it. Let's go ahead and fight. This looks like the highest difficulty combat node here, so we're just going to take this. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, Swarm. What do I want to put Swarm on? Probably this, actually. Because then I have this maggot here that has Swarm. Very nice. I'll just take that. That's a tier 5 upgrade. I don't need any more cards, so I'm just going to do the upgrade here. And we will also upgrade this guy. See if we can hit that board size increase again. I haven't been getting any of the alchemy increases though. Alchemy board size increases from that. But what we can do is we can throw this in there, throw some gold in there. We can see what we get. Must add at least one non-reagent card. Oh. I see. Wow, that's a good one. Alright, I might as well spend my money, just beef up my health here. There we go. And now it's boss time, final boss time. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, these boss boards are not as difficult as they could be. So I think that's the main problem. So I think what I'm going to do is this additional boss score, we're just going to beef that up to 100 here. We'll just tweak those levers. And then what I can do is my run manager. I don't need these seeds anymore. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with how this is working. I just want to see what the boss boards look like. So debug notoriety level 99, and then test player cards. We're just going to give myself God mode. I just want to take a gander at what those boss configurations look like now. So we'll just go here. Skip. Can't say it's not satisfying, yeah. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to play with enemy cards just to see if they are synergic as ours? That's still not good. Why is that not right? Yeah, the enemy cards, I think they're pretty synergistic. But they're also, yeah, I do, when I make the cards, I test them with the player having them in the inventory. And I do want to, at some point in the future, allow the player to play as the enemy faction. I think that would be really cool. That could be like a mode that you can unlock where you can just, like, it just completely reverses. So all the combats become, you know, player cards and all of your cards become enemy cards. I think that'd be cool. Melting the boards, yeah. Loki, I joined Steamworks to start my first release to catch wish lists. Wow, I can't talk today. To catch wish lists from possibly winning the HD Jam. Very nice. It's a good strategy. It's good that combat is more balanced, but I'm concerned that it was too easy to finish the hardest battles, even though some were close. Doesn't feel like paying attention to your board is required. Why go for a specific build when a lot of random cards work fine? Yeah, I think that's a reasonable concern, but the thing is, my board was actually highly synergistic the way that I had it set up. Okay, this board looks a lot tougher. .300 health though, that might be a problem. Gotta get through all this to find the next one. Good morning, Asymmetrics. How's Tricks? Tricks? I don't know what that means, but welcome. Do you think playing as an enemy would be easy to destroy enemy board? I think so. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. $487. So I'm definitely gonna have to play test that. I might have to come up with a different way of coming up with maybe the boss health shouldn't change, but its difficulty should. I'm not really gonna know if it's doable unless I actually play test it for real, but okay, next boss time. 758. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with that, but we'll just leave that in there for now. I think it's feeling good overall. It's getting very close to the point where it feels way more balanced than it did before. I think I just need to make some tweaks. I just need to make some tweaks, that's all. But, let's see. I've got a bunch of stuff to do. I do want to do negative outputs for alchemy. That may be more, I don't know. I should probably, because I still want to do the playtest for Halloween, which is next week. So I may hold off on adding negative effects to alchemy. Maybe I will, because that's going to be another big thing to do. And I don't think, I need to start getting this ready so you all can play it next week. So let me think. What do I want to do? Well, we need to do more reagents. For sure. Although that's something that I don't necessarily need to do either. I didn't catch your board synergies then. I guess I just want to say that putting a specific build together should feel more rewarding than just random jumbled cards. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm doing a horror live stream on Halloween. Is the playtest public for everyone then? No, it will be only, the Halloween playtest will be only for Patreon members for a week, and then it will be open to the public the week after that. So yeah. I mean, you can send me a DM, Wooius. I'd be interested to know about your audience. It might be a good opportunity to gather wish lists. So maybe we can work something out. So yeah, if you want to send me a DM, maybe we can work something out. Hello, Pragyan. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. All right, let's do some enemy cards. Yeah, send me a DM first, Wooius, on Discord. All right, so I still need to do, my goal for this week was to get 7 new enemy cards done, and I haven't done any, so. Oh no, wait, why do I have 44 enemy cards? I guess I only need to do 6 more, okay. Oh, I'm not printing reagent. Should update my card statistics tool. Wait, why is it not putting reagents in there? Did I just miss it? Oh, it's here. Okay, never mind. Never mind. All right, so we need to do 6 new enemy cards. Any region. Yeah, any region works. Yeah. Just looking at what we got here. I think maybe we could do a flail. That might be interesting. How many weapon cards does this have? Yeah, we need some more alchemical and some more relics as well. Okay, tell you what, put your suggestions for what cards we should add for the enemy faction in the chat. I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we'll see if we can get a couple of cards done. So yeah, I'll be right back in just 3 minutes, and we will continue on. Okay, I'm back. Religious figures for Region 3? Yeah, I should do like a bishop or something. The deer would be cool. What's the easiest game genre to develop, excluding visual novel? I actually wouldn't say visual novels are easy to develop because they may be technically easy, but if you're not a good story writer, then you're going to fail. I guess if you're talking technically to develop, it's one thing. Easiest to make fun is another thing. I don't know. I think puzzle games are probably the easiest to develop, I would say. Because once you get your core puzzle mechanics down, it's just a matter of building out levels. In my experience, those have always been the easiest ones to make because they don't have you don't have stats, and the balancing is basically just based on how hard do your puzzle difficulties ramp up, and it can be hard to design a good puzzle that's actually compelling rather than a slog. But I would say puzzle games are probably, at least in my experience, some of the easiest games to make. Maybe old arcade games like Breakout. Yeah, that would be easy too. I want to make a 3D platformer like Rayman 2, but it seems impossible for solo dev. Yeah, I don't know. There are a number of people doing 3D platformers as solo devs, but yeah, again, it's one of those things where you have to be really good at level design to make any platformer, but especially a 3D one. So yeah, it's a question of like what's technically easy versus what is easy to make compelling, right? Okay, I want to do a flail. Let's do a flail. Yeah, we can make it this shape, I suppose. And how long it takes to make it, right? Wait a minute, maybe I don't want to use this one. What was I thinking? I'm just going to draw something super quick. Oh, maybe that'd be okay. Yeah, that might be all right. Okay. Let's do it for real now. Something like that? I don't know. That can work. Okay. Diablo 2 flashbacks. Saturday Game Dev, yes indeed. Welcome, Ali. Is it a fishing hook? No, well, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. Khalim's flail, plus 50% attack speed, 1 and 2 lightning damage, 50% damage to undead. You going to play the new PoE League, Pause Champ? Is there a new PoE? Which one? Is it PoE 2 or PoE 1? Or is it both? Probably not. Right now I'm just waiting for Arc Raiders, really. Right now I'm just waiting for Arc Raiders. That's kind of annoying. PoE 1 next week. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of done. I think I'm done with PoE 1. I like PoE 2 a lot better. Oh, this is going to be hard to do. Guess we'll just have to be very careful. Well, I mean, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I guess it works. Okay. We'll make it work. Can't wait for Arc Raiders. Yeah, I had a blast with it. Unfortunately, I'm busy like every Sunday, so I was only able to play for like a portion of Friday and Saturday for the test. You know. How did I do? I want to look at how I did the mace. Okay, so I did outline the spikes. Cool. Let's do that then. Well, we'll see how this goes. It is not going well. I mean, that looks decent, I suppose. It looks spiky enough. Well, it's not perfect, but I think it gets the point across. Really enjoyed your boss snake video. Oh, thank you, Jin. Appreciate that. How much time are you able to spend in a day working on this? I can't concentrate on anything for more than an hour. I usually do 4 to 6 hours a day, sometimes 8 hours, sometimes less. It depends. Probably would have copy pasted the Mesa over it out of laziness. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but I think it's okay. I think it's a little bit lopsided here, but I think it gives the impression of a flail well enough. I may actually change this section here to be more like metal. Yeah, I think that looks better. And then I can do this. Yeah. I could even just create a separation there. Maybe not. I think that's fine. No need to dwell on it for too long. All right, so we got the flail now. Some flails have 2 or even 3 chains and balls on them. You can make it a T or cross shape. Oh, interesting, yeah. Cross would be a whole new card shape. Yeah, it would. Whoa, is that a flail? I'm getting some Elden Ring flashbacks. It is. Looks great, thank you. Okay, so we've got a flail. Let's go into the game, or into the engine here. Flail, turn cooldown, 11 is enemy. It's a weapon. We'll give it a crit chance and a 2 crit multiplier. Okay, so now we got to figure out what to do with the flail in terms of abilities. Do I want to... I don't think the enemy has any bleed cards right now. Do I want to allow the enemy to inflict bleed on the player? It seems like I should be able to do that, right? Why not? Why not? Damage and bleed, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? You know? Why not? I just have one thing to say to that. Why not? You know? It's just, you know? Why not? You know? You know, why not? Maybe I'll do something different for lunch today. Maybe instead of doing a double quarter pounder with cheese, maybe I'll do some Chipotle. Oops, I did not do that correctly. This dimensions, it's 2x2 with an excluded cell of 0, 1. There we go. Let's just go ahead and use this in some combat here. Oops, I forgot that I have the debug notoriety level up. That's all right. You should buy more steak. Yeah, I should get some steak. Oh, I just realized. Okay, hold on a second. It's fine. I'm on a branch here. Beef prices are up like 15% now. Okay. I have to do one thing really quick. I'm going to go merge this branch, because I'm pretty sure I'm good with the combat overhaul, so I'm just going to merge this branch. Okay, go back to the master branch, pull this down, get fetch prune. Okay, back into Alchemortis. Oops. All right, let's see if we can figure out another enemy card to do. So the flail is basically done. I just need to add some flavor text to it. Could do a shield, although we do need more relics. Be kind of fun to do like a sword in the stone. Wouldn't that be cool? Oops. Where did that go? Here. Sword in the stone could be a fun event. Oh, it could be. Yeah, it could be. So maybe I won't do that one just yet. A potato. We could do a potato. Do very easy potato. How many, let's do this. Card statistics tool. How many 1x2 cards does the enemy have? 7. We need more 1x3 cards. Need more 2x1 cards, 3x2. I don't want to do a potato. Let's do it. A hot potato that switches between player and enemy board, dealing fire damage to the one who holds it. That's funny. Pitchfork, 1x3 or 3x1. Oh yeah, pitchfork. Do I have that written down? Yeah. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a bunch. Oops. Let's get it to actually look like a potato here. Potato. I forgot what potato leaves look like. Oh, interesting. Potato leaves look like every other leaf that you've ever seen in your life. Cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw some random leaves then. That'll probably work. Okay. Sounds good. Actually, trading the card between boards might be complex, but you could pass a debuff back and forth, I think. Yeah, it could work. I would call myself an intermediate programmer. Do you think C# would be hard for Godot projects? No, I don't think so. No, if you're an intermediate programmer, you should be able to pick up C# with Godot, no problem. No problem. I have a question about those project settings, custom variables. How can I edit the variable path, maybe description, after adding them? I don't know if there's a way of editing the path. I think you just have to kind of like create a new property with the different name and then just copy the value over. I think they're not super flexible, so trying to start a new project and wanted to C#. This art reminds me of that one movie scene of the guy with his head and lungs. Oh, interesting. Put a Colorado beetle on leaves. Do you have them in US? Well, it's called a Colorado beetle, so I'm assuming that yes. If it's named after the US state, but I don't know. I don't know what a Colorado beetle is. Okay, that'll work. I've been having a lot of fun drawing the different plants that the villagers have in their board. I don't know why drawing plants is kind of fun. Potato. Okay, potatoes are done. Anyone want some potatoes freshly picked? Fresh out of the ground. Actually, I might do a little bit of extra shading in here. Just a little bit of shading. Add some purples in here. There we go. Those beetles are kind of enemies of small farmers in Ukraine because they're eating potato leaves, and it's kind of a big deal. Sounds like an invasive species then. Maybe they're invasive, but I don't know for sure. Make an Ohio beetle then. It's because you're an artist. I think that looks good. I like these potatoes. Potato. It's the art. I would love to have a t-shirt with this card. Really? Okay. All right. That'll be $50 for a medium t-shirt. I am now a content creator. Cool. Potato done. We got to add the ability now. What should the potato do? Actually, a shirt with a periodic table of all the cards would be sick. Would it? Yeah. Maybe. I'll pay with Big Mac. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. Potato. This is obviously alchemical. It's a 1/2. We'll give it a turn cooldown of 9. What should the potato do? Let's give it a 10% crit chance too. Why not? Why not? Enemy is flippable. Okay, so I think the setup for it is done. We just need to do the ability now. I don't know what game to make because making it alone takes away so many options and I want to be realistic. Yeah, that is a struggle for sure. There's still a 1 pixel hole in the leaves if you meant to close all the holes. This one here? Thank you. Okay. That's the one. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so what ability should we give it? All the food items typically have healing, which is interesting. I don't know if I want to do that, though. I want to make it do something interesting. What should we make it do? What should we make it do? Those holes are from the beetles! No! Those dang Colorado beetles. What should we make it do? I mean, we have Sage, which I think is just a heal. What else do we have? I forgot what other things there are. Oh, Pumpkin Patch. This one projects Swarm and heals. Next card, Beetle. Beetle gains power if it's next to a potato plant. So the potato, I don't really want to make it heal, although maybe healing would be good. Oh, I have a carrot too, I forgot. I've got a carrot. A carrot provides healing and shielding. So the potato should do what? By the way, the color of those beetles are very similar to the game theme. Oh, interesting. Okay. Potato build, potato blight. Hello, Polaris. Good to see you. Do I want to do healing? Maybe I'll just do something interesting. Maybe I'll just do like project damage to adjacent cards, maybe? Make it a poisonous potato. I kind of just want to make it project damage to additional cards as if it's like satiating them, you know? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but... Carrot is 1 by 1, why not a stronger version since a potato is larger? Oh, so you mean have the same abilities, just be stronger? Honestly, I think I just want to do project damage. Can I just do this? Ability builder dot project ability. Ability builder dot damage 1. Okay, I'm not going to do all this here. Query options dot query directions is equal to board inventory component dot query directions dot adjacent query options dot. We're not going to do a tag filter. I don't know. Let's just see what that does. Sounds good. I don't think I have any damage projection on any card yet. I could be wrong. I'm getting to the point now where I'm actually forgetting which cards are in the game and what abilities they have. Because there's almost 100 cards in the game, actually. I think there's 98 cards. Which is quite a lot, actually. But I think for release, I would love to have like 300 cards at release or more. So I'm only 30% of the way done. And then also the thing is too, like I want to tie in some card unlocks to the meta progression too, so I might have like themed card packs like deep sea creatures that you'll unlock as part of the meta progression, and then from that point onward they can appear in your game. I think that's a good way to extend the lifetime of the game too. Like just as the game is starting to get stale, you start introducing new cards, right? And maybe even new events and stuff. Keep players interested, but we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just going to work. I'm pretty sure that's just going to work. I want to see if a potato gets generated in any of these here. Love that idea. Good, yeah. I still need to figure out meta progression and everything. I mean, I think the main goal... There's a chicken and potato over there. The main goal for this playtest is to get the new alchemy change tested and also the balance changes tested. And then assuming that all feels good... Oh, son of a beeswax. Assuming that all feels good, I can start focusing on, like, adding more events to the game. So if there's more variety in a run... I want to add more dynamism to the map. I think that's going to be the next big thing, is figuring out how to make the map more engaging to work or to play with. And then, of course, meta progression is going to be another thing. So I think the game, I mean, I just have some pretty core systems to like really nail down the alchemy and the balancing. And as soon as that's nailed down, really the rest of it is just adding more content, more dynamism to the map, adding the meta progression, all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that I'm still on track for releasing like in Q1 of next year. So November, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be out of the country for roughly 2 weeks in December. But if I have January and February, yeah, I think it's doable. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do need to do a more marketing effort too. Deep sea creatures like blobfish or anglerfish. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, I could definitely do those things. Okay. I think the potato is working. All right, the potato is in the game now. So what is our current status here? We now have 46 enemy cards and 53 player cards. Oh, so 99 cards. We are 1 card away from 100. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, here, let's do this. I am going to do another round of play testing here to see how the balance feels, because I can't really do enough of that. Got to make sure it's nice for the people who will be joining the play test next week. I hope the play test is still on track. I think it is. So we'll see. I have a bunch of other stuff to do. Like I want to build out more of the sound effects, because there's sound effects missing in the version of the play test that you all played. So I got to add more sound effects. I have some stuff with the music that I want to change. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Anyway, let's grab this card upgrade here. Upgrade a Skeletron. Deserve some rest. The 100th one must be special. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Okay, we can do another upgrade here. A leech. Do I want to use... I kind of... maybe I don't want to do that. Heal 1 for each allied card execution. Maybe I'll just keep it the way it is. Although I do want to upgrade the leech here. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. We're good there. Villager Stein chicken. Hopefully I can beat this. Oh, it's going to be close. All right. Woo! That would have felt bad if I lost that, because that's basically like a single path. So cat prayer beads. Maybe we'll grab some reagents. That ox might be tough because it's got 70 health, but I think it will be okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, perfect. Look at that. So I actually am going to do this. Upgrade my alchemy container. Then let's do this. Let's do that. And I need 8. I don't know if I can actually get 8. Oh, I can. Okay. Alchemize those 2 guys together. Skeleton that deals 4 damage and heals for the damage dealt and applies 2 poison. Very nice. Okay, now I'm feeling better about this ox here. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think the balance is feeling a lot better. There's fewer swings in like the difficulty. Prayer beads 4? What? There's fewer swings in the difficulty. And I think it's still going to be difficult enough if you don't really know how the game works. Also, you could create some YouTube shorts, like I created 100 cards for my game. Oh, that's a good idea. That actually went easier than I thought it was. This prayer beads 4, heal 6. This one is going to be tough. Oh no, it's fine. I'm okay. Alrighty, let's get this board size increased and then we can go to the shop. Already at 59 out of 100 though on my notoriety bar there. So let's see if I can get some power upgrades here. Oh, yes, I think I want that. Although I do want this too, but I don't have cards. So I'm actually going to buy this. If I put that there, that's going to synergize off of that. Okay. I probably need to modify the shop prices as well. Get the free health upgrade. I'm at 74. There's an increased board size there, which is kind of like on the way. So I'm going to have to grab this and then come back down. This should be fine, I think. Yeah. Okay. Is this going to trigger the boss fight here? I think it might. Oh no, 99. Okay. Tier 2 upgrade. Let's just grab that real quick. That is not a proper boss board. It didn't even generate the boss. Okay, so that's a problem. It didn't even generate the boss. I mean, I still lost, but it didn't even put the boss character on the board. That's funny. Okay, well, that's a problem. Could also create a short like feedback, said my game was too easy, so I nerfed everything. Yeah, that'd be cool. The mythical lamb boss, yeah. Okay, I won, so we'll just keep going forward. We'll pretend like the boss was there. Let's grab this. I need cards. Oh my gosh, I need cards. Where am I supposed to get cards from, game? There's no boosters anywhere. Well, I guess I have a chance. I have a chance to grab some reagents here. Okay. That might help. Let me do this. Gold, skeleton warrior. Do those things together. Take the mandrake, I suppose. Okay, I'm in trouble. I don't have cards. I'm still sclouncing them though, so that's fine. That lamb was the mayor. Does the reagents count for the resurrection? Yes, yes. The reagents, for all intents and purposes, are just cards, so anywhere where you need to use cards, you can use them. All right, now we're in business here. Let me grab some. Oh yeah, here we go. Finally. Should I spend the money and get 4 cards? I'm gonna do that actually. I need to fill out my board. Okay, so this is not a minion, right? No, it's not. So this means that that's not going to be useful. This is completely and utterly useless. We'll put the leech there and the bell. That's fine. I still messed the first lead ingot art. What? The one that was terrible? Okay, I don't want to fight that. I think I'm going to lose that one. Let's avoid that one. Let's grab an artifact. I feel a little bit vulnerable in this one. That is alchemical as well. Let's use the Rod of Asclepius. Increase health. I am gonna increase my alchemy there. I can sell these. I don't need these. Okay. I think I need to alchemize again. I think I just need to throw all these things together and hopefully get something nice. Okay. Deal 5 damage per adjacent weapon. Okay. I can make this work. Because that is a weapon there. Right? This is a weapon. Cool. Okay, we can make this work. There's a booster there. Maybe I'll go for another weapon card now. Oh, ow. Ow. Okay, I almost died, but it's cool. We're good. I didn't even check to see if there were other weapon cards. I just completely flubbed that. I just went complete zone out mode. Okay, that's not helpful. That's right. Maybe there will be a weapon here. There is not. Cool. I don't... Well, I could increase the board size, I guess. Can I fit anything else on here? I need to reorient some things. Okay, that'll work. Let's do a plague mask. Is there a better way to do this? Oh, this needs to be adjacent, right? No, that'll work. So I still got my adjacency bonuses. I still have my adjacency bonuses for this abomination and the ceremonial dagger, and the leech is poisoning. So I can put the grimoire there now. Okay, that'll work. I'm gonna sell this abomination because I don't need it. Well, let's try this combat. Let's see if I organize my board properly. Yeah, cool. All right, we're doing it. Grab these reagents. That'll work. Yeah, I really do think like the only reason I'm able to get through this right now is because I know how the game works. So I really think that any other player who's new to the game is probably going to lose like around this area because there are some critical decisions that I made that I knew how to do, right? But if you're just kind of like still feeling your way through the game, you're probably going to lose. It has personality, okay? Has its own charm. Alchemizing whenever you want lets you have more agency of what to do with what you collected. Yeah, I think so, yeah. You were so close on being able to fill the board. Let's fight this one. I may still make the game a little bit more difficult from where it's at right now, but I do feel like it's getting there for sure. This has 500 health. That's too much. Okay. 500 health was a little bit too much. I think the mausoleum key is probably too strong too. That's the other thing too. It's like how much of this is easy because the cards are too strong. Okay, we're in the third region now. Let's see what happens. Gain 50% lifesteal, but lose 5% of max health every turn during combat. I probably don't want to do that. I'm not doing a lot of physical damage. Just grab the noble pedigree. I might reduce the frequency of board size increase nodes as well. So there's a lot of other things. It's not just about like the combat scores. It's also about how many board size increases are available, you know, and it's also about like what is the individual strength of each card. It's the problem with like balancing is there are so many variables at play. I do want to find another weapon, actually. I should have gone this way. No weapon. What? Reagent shouldn't be a valid booster thing. There's another booster up there. I want to max out that abomination. I haven't done an abomination build before. I'm just writing a bunch of stuff down that I want to fix. Nice. I have a lot of money. Let's do some alchemization. And more mausoleum keys. Is that the only item in the game? Applies 40% blind to a random enemy card. Apply 4 poison. Apply 5 fire. Heal 2. Thank you. I will take that. Is this a weapon? Oh, that is a weapon. Oh. So this is going to inflict 6 damage on self, but it's going to also inflict... Oh, actually, I can finally make this work. Because this will do shielding based on the damage taken that I've since last execution. This is going to deal damage to myself, but it's also going to scale the abomination. It's going to deal 6 damage to the enemy. So basically, I'm going to get 6 shielding from this, even though I'm going to take some damage, but I'm going to double the physical damage of this abomination. I finally can use the Orbitoclast. Very nice. I found a use for it, babe. I found a use for it, babe. Anyway. Another Rod of Asclepius. That is actually going to be good because that will offset some of the self damage that I'm doing. Okay. Why is it so complicated? It's a strategy game. It's a strategy game. It has to be complicated. Greatest redemption art since Vegeta, anime reference. Let's go to the shop. Oh, there's another weapon. Let's buy this. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's 28. That's a weapon too. Dang, I don't have enough money to buy both of them, I don't think. I wanted to fit this in there. Do I really need this mask? I want to get rid of the mask. Oh shoot, that's still not enough. I want to get rid of this too, sorry. I want to buy this so I can put it here. So it's 7 damage per adjacent weapon. There's 4 adjacent weapons, so that's 28 damage. Can you rotate cards? You cannot, no. You cannot. I like games where I have to actually think. I hope I didn't like destroy my build inadvertently by going for that. Just need to use your brain cells, yeah. Okay, my build seems to be just fine still. Do your randomized card drops towards player's build during a run? Not yet. I may do something like that, but yeah, we'll have to see. Let's grab some reagents. All right, now we can do some stuff. Okay, this is going to be nasty. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't have enough. Okay, we don't need this one. Projects to adjacent cards, heal 5. I probably want that one. Okay. Time for game dev once again. Yes, it is. Are enemy cards on the board just random or are they generated with synergy? They are generated with synergy. Typically, anyway. This board is actually kind of small. I don't know why that is. But yeah, they do have, they are placed in accordance with a synergy. So for instance, here, these are synergizing. This is synergizing this battle trumpet. The rabbit foot increases critical chance of and critical multiplier of 1 adjacent minion. So that is an adjacent minion. So on and so forth. Okay, I should be able to beat this boss, even if the boss has a bunch of health. Do you have cards that give you something by being in the stash? I have one, yeah. There's a Hellspawn egg, which will transform into an imp if you hold it in your inventory for a while. There are so many variables, beating this without a wiki would be hell. I want to add an encyclopedia into the game once it's closer to finished, where everything is explained and where you can see all the cards and all that stuff. So I want to do like a light in-game Wikipedia, or wiki, I mean. We'll take that. It's a great idea. Yeah, because there's all kinds of like weird interactions, and so I want to offer as much clarity as possible to the players of like how things are interacting. The board's generated using the best algorithm in the world, yeah. Build that focus on stash items appeals me. Okay, yeah, interesting. Like a diary or guide, right, yeah. Maybe a little lore explained too. They could do something like that for sure. Okay, this should trigger the boss. We'll see how the boss goes. I always find the best way to learn games with this many cards is just to limit the number of cards are in each run, and a few new ones in the next. Okay, this is probably going to be a difficult board. Let's see. Nope, I won. Hee hee. All right. Very cool. All right, I think it's feeling good overall. I need to do a bunch of little balance tweaks here and there. So I'm going to do that, but we're dialing it in. It's getting dialed in. So hopefully by the time the playtest releases for Patreon members next week, hopefully it's going to feel much better than the first playtest. So we'll see, but that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Again, you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam if you haven't done so. I would very much appreciate that. And you can also join the Patreon. Again, the top Patreon tier, if you subscribe just for 1 month, you will get a Steam key sent to you when the game releases, and your name will be listed in the in-game credits. You can also check out my Udemy courses. Those are linked below. And you can join the Discord. That's free. So everything is linked in the description below. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be back here Monday at 10 a.m., so I hope to see you there. All right, take care, everyone, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.